Hello children, it's Mrs. Desoy here today, and we are going to be looking at fractions, equivalent fractions actually, and that means that fractions that are the same size. So think of a fraction as a part of a number, and we're looking at the same size fractions. So we already know what half is. We know that this is a half here. We've done this in our learning already this year. But today we're going to develop it a little bit further and show that a half and 2/4 are the same fraction. We write our fractions like this. This is a half, okay? So it's one part of two pieces that make the whole. And 2/4 is two parts of a whole that is split into four, okay? But you're going to say, Mrs. Desoy, these are different numbers. Look, I've got 1 and a 2 and a 2 and a 4. How can they possibly be the same? And I will show you. Now, the important thing to remember is that a fraction represents a part of a whole. Okay, so let's look closely at the numbers. I'll just take this down. Okay, we'll start off with 1/2. Okay, so here's the shape. We're going to split it into two to make a half. Okay, and we are looking at one part of that. Okay, there we go. Now, this fraction here, we're going to split it into quarters, which is 4. Okay, we know that, we practice that a lot. Okay, oh, my square's got a bit wonky, but we're going to cut it into 4 pieces. Okay, and this time we're interested in 2 parts of the 4. So we're going to shade in 1 and 2. And then you can see that that part of the fraction of 2/4 is the same size as a half. Now, you can do this, and we can practice with some paper. My board is very wonky. So what you need are 2 pieces of identical sized paper. I'm going to use different colours, but you can, just to show you, that they need to be the same size, okay? So, blue piece. Let's cut this into half, and we know a half means we need 2 parts. So the easiest way to do that is to fold it in half, okay, and then we're going to tear off a piece, okay. So we tear off 1/2. Here you can see here's our 2 parts, but we're only interested in 1 part. So there we go. That's 1/2 of our whole piece. Now, the yellow is going to be the 2/4, okay? How many pieces do we need to turn this into? 4. Okay, so fold it in half, which is a good way to start, but then we need to fold it again. And then that makes 4 pieces. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we're interested in 2/4, children, 2/4. So how many quarters do we need? 1, 2. So let's tear off, it's not so straight, 2/4, 2/4, 1/2, exactly the same. Okay, you have a go. See if you can find the equivalent fraction of a half and 2/4. Now, but I just want to show you something else, because fractions and halves and 2/4 doesn't have to be with shapes. If you've looked at the PowerPoint, you'll see there was a dog on there, and the dog had boats. Well, I don't have a dog, I have a cat. I was hoping he would make an appearance, but he hasn't arrived yet. Anyway, my cat Ringo likes fish, okay? And here are my fish here. Now, I'm going to give Ringo half of my fish. So I'm going to give him my posh dinner plates. I don't normally give him a posh dinner plates, but if I'm going to split these fish into half, I need 2 plates. Here's our half, 1, 2, okay? So I've got 12 fish here. Now, see if you can work out what the answer is before I finish. But while I'm doing it, I'm going to do it systematically. I'm going to share them out equally. Do one plate and then the other plate. Okay, and I'm going to share all my fish out so Ringo can have half of his dinner. Okay, now we need to count how many fish are on one plate, because we're looking for half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's write this down, make some jottings as we go along. We know that half of 12 fish equals 6. Okay, Now, let's see what happens when we find 2/4 of my 12 fish. So let's take them all off. Okay. I say to Ringo, Ringo, would you like 2/4 of fish for your tea tonight? And he'd go, meow, 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 meow. The cats don't really talk. So, how many plates do I need for 2/4? Use the numbers to help you. 4. 1, 2. Let's move the fish out of the way. 3, 4. And I've got my 12 fish here, and I'm going to share them equally between the 4 plates. So start here. Again, working systematically, go around in order, make sure you don't miss anything out. Okay, there we go. That's one not done. Now I'm going round again. And then again. Okay, now there we go. So this time my 12 fish have been split into 4. So on each plate are 3 fish each. But we're not interested in one plate of 1/4. We're interested in 2/4. So let's just get 2/4 and move those fish out of the way. Here we are. Here's 2/4. Let's count the fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So children, you can see that's 2/4 of 12. Let's jot this down to make sure we've got it all right. 2/4 of 12 equals 6. And now you have the same result, the same part, the same amount, the same size. So a half is the same as 2/4. So children, you go and have an explore. You can make some fish, you can make some bones. You can do what you like with your numbers to find fractions of amounts and fractions of shapes, and prove to yourself that a half is the same as 2/4. What other equivalent fractions? What else is equivalent to a half? See if you can find out. Bye.